Notion has been the key to how much I have gotten done since July when I implemented my ADHD planner. With ADHD, I have found that planning my month in advance, followed by reviewing my month at the end of it, has made all of the difference in my ability to get things done, to feel accomplished, to feel proud of myself, and to use that feeling of accomplishment to create motivation to keep going. Now the year's coming to a close, and I want to review October with you and talk about how what I accomplished then is going to impact my November. Plus, let's look at a few of Notion's charts and how they impact my ability to visualize my progress and feel proud of myself, honestly, which is something that I struggle with sometimes with ADHD and time blindness. So we've already talked about this in my video I will link here about planning October. I knew when I started this month that I had two major things I had to do in October. I had to give a webinar. Then there was a contest that I wanted to submit my musical to. Then I wanted to get my novel writing template complete and work on a fantasy series that I'm editing. That was basically what I wanted to accomplish in a bare minimum month in October. In a rockstar month, I would add those, and as well as getting articles published on Medium, creating YouTube videos, and cleaning my house. I wanted to find a way to stay focused and see my own progress as the month continued. And one of the ways that I do that is through databases in Notion. So let's go ahead and look now. This is one of the newer features of my ADHD template where I split everything out by project. And these projects are a lot smaller than I had done when I started this template back in July, where I took Medium from being a project to each article that I wrote being a project. And then I had my Notion template, which was honestly a project I should have split into even further pieces. And then within those projects, I would split them up into further tasks, which you can see here. Let's look at the sorts. I organized it by area. First of all, this helps me look at how much did I accomplish for Medium, how much did I accomplish for my musical, and so on. And then by the deadline. So it looks a little bit weird in terms of the deadline not being in order, but I do find it helpful just to look at each line like this. And then I used this count feature so that I could just see how many projects did I finish in October. And it's a ridiculous 18. Although to be fair, all of this was really one big project of submitting to the musical contest, which I did get done. For the ones that are still in progress that I didn't finish, I had a Medium article to finish learning about how to record in home studio, but I didn't do that. And I had really hoped to finish this project for my client before the 31st, but I realized pretty quickly that I wasn't going to be able to. I changed the deadline to November 15th. Hopefully I can meet that now. Then I've been working on writing a fast draft of Act 2. I have some of the tasks that I've completed here, and then I have a client that I'm doing coaching with. And now with Notion charts, something that I've been doing a lot of is using these charts to visualize what I accomplished. The stereotype of somebody that is time blind is that they always show up late to things or they forget when they're happening. But there's more to time blindness than that I'll go into in a future video about different ways that time blindness shows up in my life. But one of them is that the moment that I complete a task, I forget I did it. I don't get a sense of accomplishment. When I finished my Notion template for writing novels, I crashed. I was in a bad mood. I hated it because I didn't even feel relieved. I didn't feel accomplished. I just felt like I lost purpose and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. So, being able to go in and be like, look at all of the things that you finished in these various categories is really helpful to me. This chart in particular helps me see how I split my time. I can see that 16% toward my musical, 16% to the fantasy novel, about 15% to YouTube, then Medium, and then Notion, and my songwriting class. And then everything else, this little chunk of what looks like about 20%, is all the other projects that were happening. And I think I'm okay with this distribution, although I wish I was the kind of person that could just focus, do one project till it's done, and move on. I haven't been that person my entire adult life, my entire childhood. I've never been the person who just finds one thing they need to do, finishes it, and then moves on with her life. So I feel like this kind of distribution is going to be really common. But looking at this compared to how it looked in September, I think my priorities have been in order here. What this in particular shows me is what I've been procrastinating on. I had a Notion template related to the 12-week year that I kept putting off. I got behind on the work that I had wanted to do on this fantasy novel, and there were some things, again, for the home studio class that I had meant to do for songwriting and didn't. And there are a few things, a few projects for songwriting that I never even started, that I didn't even create tasks for. And so I can see where I've been procrastinating, which is really helpful to me. This is just a different visualization of all of the things that I accomplished, all the different areas that these tasks were related to, including like just handling my family things. Up to this point, everything that I've done in my review has been quantitative, right? I've been looking at how many projects did I complete? How many tasks did I complete? Which areas of distribution were they related to? Where was my focus going? How can I see that in quantifiable data? But something that I also find useful is a more qualitative approach. And in a qualitative approach, what I'm going to do is just write about my month. I'm going to journal about it. Journaling has been an important part of my life since I was 14 years old. I have an entire shelf and a half of journals, more than that if you count planners that I did on paper, just related to journaling. And a lot of what I find so useful about journaling is being able to reflect on any misalignment between what I say my priorities are and what my priorities looked like, as well as accounting for things I didn't expect. Like if I ended up having a great month, but I wasn't focused on work, I was focused on family. Making progress on my musical was one of the only work tasks that made it into my favorite moment. Then I talk about my wins, and here I'm trying to remind myself that even though I felt this like emptiness inside when I submitted my novel writing template to Etsy and to Notion, I finished it after months and months of work. I started that in like August and it's done now, and that is a win whether I feel like it is or not. And then I did get articles published to Medium. I gave my webinar successfully like I wanted to. I made progress on some work for my songwriting class. I've uploaded 5 videos to YouTube in October, which is fantastic. I'm really glad I did that. While I didn't finish the whole book, I did edit more than half of it, which is really exciting. And I didn't have a lot of challenges this month except for being pulled into my coaching job more often than I wanted to, then struggling with the fact that I had really honestly hoped to have gotten more sales on my novel writing template than I have. I'm still working on how to mesh the work that I put in, the hundreds and hundreds of hours of work, with what I would find valuable as a consumer of this product. Breaking my tasks into these more manageable size projects has really helped my focus. It's given me this drive to keep going and to see more things show up on that completed projects list. Occasionally now, when I'm having a day that I can't focus, I actually go through and I look at my projects in progress and I'm like, what of these can I actually get done today? This article I've been putting off for ages, but I could finish it in a day. I could go through and do these lessons. And being able to do that has really helped me get more done and to feel accomplished about it and to make sure I'm doing the right things as well because I've planned them in advance and I'm checking in regularly. The AI inside of Notion gives you a few queries that you can do without having to pay for the AI feature. I don't pay for it right now. This helps me assess the issues that I have with time blindness. I can say, hey, I'm not feeling accomplished. What did I do? How do you keep on task when you are creating your work? What do you find helps you accomplish the things that you intended to? Let me know in the comments and I will see you soon. Accomplish